Prajna Paramita, the meaning in Prajna is, pra is supreme and unique, jna is consciousness and understanding, paramita is perfection. One connotation is perfection. The other connotation is to break parama and itta into two words. Parama means the other shore, and itta is that which has arrived. If you take the second meaning, that means you go from this shore of mental afflictions and suffering and samsara in life and death, crossing the ocean to that shore of perfection, that shore of elimination of all mental afflictions, eliminations of samsara and elimination of life and death. So that's the meaning of Prajna Paramita. And then we further explore into the meaning of paramitas. We have the 6 paramitas: Dana Paramita, Sila Paramita, Zanti Paramita, Viraya Paramita, Dhyana Paramita, and Prajna Paramita. We have already explained 6 paramitas in that ship that we want to get into, using a simile, a ship that contains the 6 courses that you have to take, you have to practice, and before you can reach to the shore of nirvana. There's 6 courses, and out of these 6 courses, what is the basic, the most important course? You should know, you know about it. It's prajna. Because prajna is the foundation of all these. Prajna is the foundation of dana, sila, zanti, viraya, and dhyana. So you need wisdom in every course. So today, we'd like to explore more into the word Hridaya, because the name of the sutra, we're still talking on the name of the sutra, the title of the sutra. We haven't gone into the content of the sutra as yet. There's a lot more to say on the title. Hridaya, the literal meaning is heart, a human heart. But then, it does not really mean the fleshy heart, it means the mind. If we say, I give you my heartfelt condolences, for example, heartfelt sympathy. Heartfelt is not the fleshy heart, it's the mind. The sympathy is from the mind, not from the heart. The heart is just a simile of the mind. So, Hridaya means the mind. When we're talking about mind, we have the physical heart, and then we also have the sense center consciousness, the ego consciousness, and the 4th is the store consciousness. When we're talking about a mind, the 3 broad categories of mind. Each category could be divided, classified into furthermore. The first category of our mentality, of our mind, now why don't we change mind into consciousness? It's the same. Mind and consciousness, in this context, the same. And we use the word consciousness. Now, the first mind or consciousness is the sense center consciousness. In the Sanskrit language, it's the mano vijnana. Vijnana means consciousness. Mano means the 6th consciousness. Now, this sense center consciousness, this center contains 6 consciousnesses from 1 to 6. And then there's also the ego consciousness, which is the manas, vijnana, the 7th consciousness. The ego consciousness comes with you, brought forward from the previous life. It's an accumulation since beginningless time, long time ago. You've been carrying this ego into the present life. And if you don't get nirvana, enlightenment, complete understanding, you will carry this ego consciousness to your next life. And what is this ego consciousness? We'll talk about it more when we get into the content of the sutra. Next is the store consciousness, which is the 8th consciousness. Remember, the sense center contains 6 consciousnesses. The 7th consciousness is the ego, and the 8th consciousness is alaya vajnana, which is the store. Alaya is the store consciousness, or the seat consciousness. Why is this called a store consciousness? It's the memory. If I give you the simile of a computer, that store consciousness is the memory chips in that computer. What carry your karma from previous life, millions of previous lives to now, through this life and death samsara, is this storage consciousness, this memory that has brought forward, accumulated all this latent energy, we call it sometimes. We call it latent energy, and this latent karma. It brought all your karma to this life. So that is the memory. Irreplaceable. You cannot erase it out. You can erase the memory, you can erase the memory from your computer, but your own internal memory, you can never erase it. Whatever you have done, whatever you have thought, whatever you have spoken will be registered in your consciousness. You can't get away with it. Say that you created bad karma and doing something wrong, you say, I can erase it, I can forget about it. You can't forget about it in this life out of your 6th consciousness, but you'll register your alaya consciousness, your store consciousness will register and bring it forward to your next life. For that reason, that has been brought forward from previous life too. Why are everybody different? Your karma is different from my karma. You are healthier than me. There must be some reasons why you're healthier than me, because you have brought forward all these reasons, all these activities, all these consequences that brought you good health to this life. Whereas if I'm unhealthy, I must have done something to make me unhealthy. There's no action, no speech without cause. You yourself, you create your own destiny. You must be careful of what you are creating in the future, at the present. You must be careful of your mind, your mental thinking. Every, not just action, not just speech, every thought produces energy. So that's the reason why when we're meditating on what? On thought. What are we purifying? Thought. Everything originates from a thought. Every hero of history, they had a dream of reforming a country, a dreaming of sacrificing everything for the benefit of the majority. They have a thought. Every thought is the cause. And the cause will bring forward a consequence. So everything is in that store consciousnesses. Are you interested in watching your own movie? You got a movie in you. Your life movie. You have a life movie that you have to watch. Every sitting of meditation is a short film. I'm interested in watching my own script more than watching other people's script. Watching a movie, Academy Award movie, I'm watching somebody else's script. Why don't we all watch our own script, modify it, change it, purify it, make it better and better every day? That's the purpose of meditation. The best script writer wins an Academy Award for writing the best script. If you are the best writer of your own script, what do you win? Nirvana. Isn't Nirvana more interesting than an Academy Award you hold in your hand? But people are looking for Academy Awards, not Nirvana, and not cessation of suffering. Why don't we get more into it? We have 8 consciousnesses. We've got to remember all this, because these are your consciousnesses. If you are reading psychology, if you're reading Freud, if you're reading philosophies of Descartes, Thomas Hobbes, if you go back to as far as Heraclitus, Plato, Aristotle, they are talking about consciousness at a superficial level. The Buddhist teaching go deeper into 8 levels of consciousnesses. Let's take a look at the front-end consciousnesses. And let us take a simile of a computer. What are your front-end consciousnesses in a computer? What are the front-end? Your keyboards. Without a keyboard, how can you access anything? So you need a keyboard. That's your front end. Your front end are important because you receive all the information. Your eyes interact with, in the Sanskrit language, is rupa. Rupa means material, forms. Whatever you see, whatever your eyes can see, you interact with them. Unless you don't have eyesight, then you can't interact with your eyes. So your eyes has a consciousness in it, because your eyes are conscious of forms. Every form your eyes witness, that form get absorbed into your eye consciousness. Unless your sense organ is out of order, unless your sense organ is broken. But your sense organ, remember, your eyes, eyeball, is not the consciousness. It's only the camera. It's only the camera that absorbs the object into the retina, and then it reflects back into your eye consciousness. That's simple biology. Don't recognize your eyeball as your consciousness. It's only the lens. Why do I have to point out that? You will find out later, because as I said, we get deeper and deeper into it. Not just the eyes, it's the consciousness behind it. So eyes have eyes consciousness. It interact with all forms. Ears interact with sound. Ears have consciousness. Nose interact with smell and fragrances. Tongue interact with taste. And your body interact with touch. If you identify your body as just a touch interaction, we talk about the skin. Your skin touch. Your heart cannot touch. Your liver cannot touch. Your spleen cannot touch. So when we're talking about body in here, we're talking about the skin, the tactile, touches the tactility, the skin that touches the tactile object. But again, we can also treat it as a conglomeration. The body includes the tongue, the nose, the ears, and the eyes. So our body has the ears, the tongue, the nose, and the eyes. Is that all? No. We have 32 internal organs. We have the heart, the spleen, the lung, you name them. Biology will tell us we have a lot of inside. The inside also have interaction too. What does it interact with? The inside have interactions with whatever you put from the outside. The inside have interaction with the movement, the fluid movement. The inside have interaction with particles. The inside have interaction with liquid, with water, blood, with everything. So that body there actually is a conglomeration of everything of you. The material of you that interact with the outside world, that interact with the universe, that interact with people. So those 5 are the front-end salesmen. They all have consciousnesses. However, there are only certain things that the salesman can do. The salesman only interrupt the client, take the order, and put the order through. They do not make the decisions. They do not make decisions on how much inventory should be ordered to satisfy the client's needs. They do not make decisions as to the design of the products. Who make the decisions? Who supervises the salesman? who supervise the warehouse, who supervise the accounting crew, who supervise the auditors, who supervise the janitorial service within that company. This guy, the mind, your own mind. Your own mind supervises all this. That mind is the manager sitting behind in that cubicle where he manipulates everything, where he controls the salesman, where he makes sure that the warehouse is working, where he makes the decisions, where he or she make the judgment as who you should trust, who you should not trust. All that is in that manager. That manager is called Mano. He's got a name like you and me. You're Lee, you're Bunny, you're Mary, you're Jackson, you got a name. And that guy has a name too. And his name is what? Very interesting name. He's called Mano. Mano is there, and Mano is in you. He's working for you, inside of you. He's also you. He makes all the decisions for you. Sometimes you make the wrong decisions. Sometimes you make the right decisions. Sometimes it's walking on standard of morality. Sometimes it's getting out of line. You step out of that line and make troubles for you. Sometimes it's create feeling of jealousy, hatred, disappointment, fear, depression, violence. Do name them. His Mano is doing all these things for you. Who is Mano? It's you. You yourself. Nobody. From today on, watch your Mano. You know why? Because you got to be responsible for what Mano has done, and what Mano is doing, and what Mano will do. You can't get away. You can't say, I didn't do it, it's Mano who did it. I didn't kill, it's Mano will kill. I didn't lie, it's Mano will lie. You can't get away with it. And Mano is not always bad, you know. Sometimes he's compassionate, he's conscientious, he's hardworking. It depends on how you control it. And the Buddhists tell us, watch your Mano. Mano can lead you to heaven, can pull you down to hell. And Mano has been pulling you in the 6 paths of reincarnation. In one life you are human, in another life you are an animal, in the 3rd life you are down in hell suffering. So that's Mano, the 6th consciousness. So all the 6 senses of consciousness, what do we call it? The sense center consciousness. So, when the eyes interact with form, when the ears interact with sound, nose interact with smell, tongue with taste, body with touch, and mind with thoughts, organs interact with objects, what is being created? The consciousness is created. Because when the organs interact with outside objects, if you didn't pay attention to them, there's no consciousness. So in other words, if Jack is coming into right there, if my eyes see Jack, if my mind is not with my eyes, I don't know that's Jack. I don't know Jack is there. If I'm tasting food, if my mind is not in the food because I have something I worry about, I'm grief-stricken, I don't know the taste of food, I've come across something that is so bad that I'm being led away. I didn't pay attention to what I'm eating, so your taste consciousness is not created. So your consciousness is created when your organs interact with the object and attention is being created. Only when attention is being created, then you have the consciousness. So these things happen at the same time. If your eyes are reading a book, you glance through it. You just glance through the book. You didn't pay attention. Every word, you don't understand what that page is all about because you haven't created eye consciousness. So that's the reason why you have to differentiate between an organ, sense organ, and a sense object. You see, these things we can dig it into detail, but I think it's better to go into detail than just to read through it and give you a lecture of consciousness without you understanding it. I like you to understand, because if you understand it, I understand. Every time when I talk about these things, I understand more. Some consciousness is more keen, more acute, more sensitive than others. And some are more powerful than the others, your own consciousness. If I can give you an example, if one consciousness have, say, the mark of 1,200 marks, say sometimes we go 100 marks as a full mark, 0 mark is low mark, and 100 is full marks in a course, when you take a course. 100 is suppose an A plus, and a 0 fail, right? Something like that. Eyes, if I give it 1,200 marks, the reason why I give 1,200 marks is this is the kind of mark given in the Sutra, and I would like to use it 1,200. There's a reason for it, which takes time to explain. So say, if we say a full mark will be 1,200 marks, how many marks would eye consciousness be given? How powerful? Not 1,200. You know why? Because when I'm in the dark, I can't see. My eye consciousness is limited. I can't see in the dark. Ears, I can hear in the dark. But then ears, I cannot hear if it's 1 mile away. Nose, for example, the smell that's carried to my nose can only be carried through particles in the air. If there's no particles in the air, the particles can carry into the molecules inside my nose. I can smell it. Tongue only has consciousness when it comes to the contact with object. If it doesn't get into my mouth, my tongue consciousness doesn't work. The consciousness would be effective only if it comes into close contact. Body consciousness is the same, because it has to come into close contact. But how about mind? How about the mind? How about mano? Mano is extremely powerful. Mano can remember the past, can project the future, and realize the present. Mano can think about things millions of miles away with no distance restriction. I'm closing my eyes now. My mind starts to think about Hong Kong, about China, about San Francisco. I'm thinking about Obey. I'm thinking about the bridge in San Francisco. I'm thinking about Hawaii. I'm not in Hawaii, but my mind can create images of Hawaii. I'm thinking about Victoria and Nanaimo. I remember Victoria Parliament Building. So my mind can create phenomenal things. You know how active, how powerful, how sensitive your mind is? You can make Mano work for you and be very successful in what you're doing. If you're not in control of Mano, it's going to pull you down. When we come to meditation, every sitting of meditation is to understand your Mano, your manager, more and more and more every day until you absolutely, Mano becomes your friend. Manos become you, and you're in full control. Right now, you're not in full control. When I'm living, I have these 6 consciousnesses. When I'm dead, I don't have visual consciousness anymore. I don't have eyes anymore. When I die, I don't have ears and nose and tongue and body. All these things fail, because when I die, I got nothing of this. So all this consciousness don't stand. When I die, I don't even have the mental, I don't have the brain. So when I die, what happened to these 6 consciousnesses? No more. And the Mano consciousness, together with all these files that accumulated, all these activities recorded in the file, would shrink into the ego, the archive file, which you already have accumulated through, and shrink into what? Into this manas consciousness, which is the ego consciousness, you, the ego you, the I. Somebody called it, quote unquote, your identity. In some psychologists call it the eight, ID8, and that's your ego. And when you die, even the manas is not there. It's shrink into the alaya, which is your memory. Everything when we pass, when the body gets out, when the body is not functioning anymore, it shrinks into alaya consciousness, which is invisible. Can you see alaya consciousness? You cannot see. Can you see Mama, your manager? You can only see when you noticed him. When you don't notice him, you do not see. You see the magic behind all these things? You see how wonderful each one of us is. In body and mind, how wonderful, how intricate, how inconceivable, how powerful. Are you going to use this power to get enlightenment? Or you don't care? You don't care about Mano. Mano is yelling out, please give me the nirvana. Please understand me. Please train me. Are you listening? It's alaya vijnana. Okay, I don't know. I've just finished one lecture, one slide. I planned 7 slides every lecture, and I wound up finishing 1 slide. Okay, next I'm going to give you a riddle of consciousness to end up this session. The 8 brothers come from one embryo. Who are these 8 brothers? And then we say, one is smart and one is obstinate. Who is the smart brother? 8 brothers are the 8 consciousnesses, right? Remember the 8 consciousnesses? All this is from one embryo. They are mano, eye consciousness, ear, nose, everything. They are just from you. And you are one embryo. You don't have 2 you, 3 you, 4 you, 5 you. You is one, you are one. And these 8 brothers, although they can be differentiated as 8 brothers, it's all from one embryo, from one mom's. It's from the mom's embryo. One is smart. Who is that smart brother? Mano. Mano is really smart because he controls all the salesmen. He can dig into old files. He can make budgets and projections for the future. And he's supervising them at the present. He's extremely smart. He's going around the office, very active, very smart, very articulate, very extrovert, and sometimes very introvert. When he gets into jealousy, hatred, he's going introvert. When he wants to interact with the outside world, he's going extrovert. So what is his personality? It depends on your personality. You're extrovert, Mano is extrovert. You're introvert, Mano is introvert. So you structure your own destiny. You write your own script. One is smart and one is obstinate. One is smart, we know that as Mano, that's the 6th consciousness. And one is obstinate. Who is that obstinate? Exactly. You know why he's obstinate? This ego, this manas consciousness. There's another guy in there, and his name is ego, and we call him manas. One is Mano, the other is manas. They are the same brothers. They have the same last name. It's just one is Mano, the other is manas. And one is manas, the ego obstinate. No, this is my opinion. This is me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I think this is me. This is mine, and that's yours. Don't intrude into my affairs. He has this ego. He's completely obstinate. He does not listen to advice. He just sees himself as himself. He don't care about any others. The manners of an obstinate, drunken father is, I just want to drink. I don't care about my family. I don't care about my wife. I don't care about my kids. I just care about my bottle of wine. Isn't he obstinate? I care about no one except myself. That's ego. Five are standing at the storefront trading. You know those 5 salesmen. I don't have to tell you who. One just sits inside home doing bookkeeping. Who is that? Who's that guy? Doing bookkeeping. He's just, whatever you gave him, just recorded it and carried it to the next life. He won't say, I don't want to record this. This is good, I record it. This is bad, I don't record it. Good or bad, he recorded it. You think you can get away with bad things to do? Because he recorded it. He's doing all this bookkeeping. He's putting in the debit and the credit. And he's trying to get it balanced. Somehow he couldn't get it balanced because it's a dummy. He's just registering. He's not making decisions. He's just registered. Sometimes the mano and manas give him more credit than debit and just recorded it. Sometimes more debit and credit and he just recorded it. And he's always looking for the balance. Poor guy. He's always looking for the balance. And he's not in balance. That's the reason why he's old and he'll go to the next life. That's all for today.